Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina KRS, TINA. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects going on here, no theme music, none of that crazy stuff going on here, just horrible hair. We are getting into Thanksgiving and the fall. My little itty bitty decorations. I should move him over there. Um, so I got a little carried away with Halloween. As you know, I did horror, suspense, thriller, cozy Halloween, not so cozy Halloween, and extra cozy Halloween. So now we are going into Thanksgiving, and this is our cozy edition of Thanksgiving. This is our If Then. Please check out. I hope you watched Star Trek Next Generation recaps earlier today. And I hope you will also check out Flashback Monday, where we talk about all the books in this magazine. Maybe you'll find a new author there. I do Regency, contemporary romance, history, mystery, and romantic suspense, and paranormal, and harlequin, and erotica, and contemporary romance, and inspirational, and sci-fi. We cover it all. And sometimes I do 60 or 70 books. Once in a while I get carried away and do 100, and the video extends into 2 hours. And by that point it's probably garbled, because most of the longer videos get garbled. Hewlett Packard and Best Buy tell me there's nothing wrong with my computer, but we'll see what happens. So this is If Then Cozy Thanksgiving edition. I think this is episode 34 or 5. I will double check that later on. So I don't have reviews for these because these are later books. I tried to choose more current books. Some of you may know from Flashback Monday that Flashback, the magazine, ends in 2016. So we're going to start with Drizzled with Death. Isn't that cute? All those pancakes. Don't you want to go to Vermont and get some pancakes? Oh, and where's the paper? The annual pre-Thanksgiving pancake eating contest is a big event in Cedar Grove, New Hampshire. It's sponsored by the Sap Bucket Brigade, aka Fighter Fighters Auxiliary, and the Greens family provides the syrup. But when obnoxious outsider Alonzo Speedwell flops face first into a stack of pancakes during the contest, the greener pasture syrup falls under suspicion. Danny knows the police, including her ex-boyfriend, are barking up the wrong tree, and she's determined to pull her loved ones out of a very sticky situation. The odds may be stacked against her, but she's got to tap the real killer before some poor sap in her own family ends up trading the sugar house for the big house. Boy, those were a lot of puns. So many puns. These are so cute. I didn't do this one. Darn it, I did the other. Yeah, I didn't do this one. Shoot. Just 1 second. You know what? Let's come back to it. Let's do this last. Um, Krista Davis. I love these books. The Diva runs out of time. I have done a single video book review of this. This book has come up in many different cozies. I did a food cozy a couple of months ago. It came up in that. I love Krista. What is Sophie and her gang, and Natasha and Winston and Miles, and the whole gang is just And I love Sophie and not. I think it's in the second book. Well, the end in the middle of this book, but Sophie gets a column, an advice column on decorating and baking and stuff like that. And Natasha's got a column too. And Sophie's column is realistic and gives realistic advice, whereas Natasha's, eh, I didn't write the page numbers down. I did it for previous videos. I don't think I have one right now. No. Let me see if I can find one. But it's just, I enjoy the heck out of these books. So here's one of Natasha's. Dear Natasha, I have no idea how to decorate my home for Thanksgiving. Pumpkins and grounds seem tired. Any suggestions? Dear Lost, create a nut garland to add the special touch. Using an electric drill, make holes in assorted nuts. You may need a vise to hold the nuts. String them on a rough twine to make your own harvest garland. Mix the nuts for a variety of texture and colors. I don't know. Maybe you want to buy some fake ones and maybe glue. Dear Natasha, my mother-in-law loves to drop by for inspection. If I want to stay married, I can't tell her not to visit. What can I do? Dear Constantly Cleaning, treat your mother-in-law as a treasured guest by entertaining her. I always have a delicious homemade treat on hand. If you bake a cake every Saturday morning, you'll have a delicious dessert for dinner and extra to serve to unexpected guests during the week. You never know who may drop by. Now, let's see what Sophie says. Dear Sophie, other people who get married receive too many toasters or blenders. For some strange reason, I now have 7 crystal vinegar decanters. Believe me, I don't use that much vinegar. What else can they be used for? Dear Vinegary, I adore those little decanters or cruettes because they're so useful and elegant. You can use them to serve cream with sugar, cream with coffee, as well as various liqueurs to add to warm drinks, because barbecue sauce and crystal adds a classy punch to your table. And if a family member has dietary restrictions, serving them the special sauce in a crystal decanter may make it more tasty. Aww. Dear Sophie, I'm supposed to bring a pie to my in-laws' home for a holiday meal. I think I can master the pumpkin filling, but the dough scares me to death. They turn their noses up at pre-made pie dough, so that's out of the question. As the newest daughter-in-law, I want to please them, but I'm afraid this will be a disaster. If you buy the right pre-made dough, they'll never know the effing difference. Dear Pie Novus, your first holiday feast and with new in-laws aren't the time to try your hand at pie dough. Graham cracker crust is just as tasty, much tastier, and virtually goof-proof. To dress it up, pipe whipped cream around the edges. It will hide any uneven spots of crust and look gorgeous too. I love Sophie and her gang. I do. While Natasha is known for her intricate centerpieces and painstakingly prepared gourmet meals, Sophie likes to keep things simple, real simple. Natasha may have stolen the spotlight and Sophie's husband, but Sophie is determined to take home the prize at the stupendous stuffing shakedown. She just needs the right ingredients. And just a little spoiler alert, Sophie's husband doesn't stay with Natasha. They don't get married or anything like that. They all just become a group of friends. However, Sophie's search for the perfect turkey takes a basting when she stumbles upon a corpse, and when the police find her name and photo inside the victim's car, they think she has some explaining to do. So Sophie will have to set up her trestle aside to solve the murder, or she'll be serving up poison grub, and definitely it wouldn't be a good thing. Oh, and this is the one with the kitten. This is where she gets Mookie. Because the guy approaches her in the supermarket parking lot, and he has a box of kittens, and she says no. And then when she comes out of the supermarket, she sees the box of kittens on top of the dumpster. So she goes to get the kitten, and there's a dead guy in the dumpster. It's a good. I love this series, and I will be reviewing them as they come out. We've done them all. We did them all last year, so please check all those out. Um, A Quilter's Holiday. Jennifer Shivani. For the Elm Quilters, the day after Thanksgiving marks the start of quilting season, a time to gather at Elm Creek Manor and spend the day stitching holiday gifts for loved ones. This year, in keeping with the season's spirit of gratitude, Master Quilter Sylvia Bergstrom Compson Cooper is eager to receive a cherished family tradition. A recent remodeling of the manor's kitchen unearthed a cornucopia that once served as the centerpiece of the Bergstrom's family holiday table. In it, each Bergstrom would place an object that symbolized something he or she was especially thankful for that year. On this quilter's holiday, Sylvia has invited her friends to continue the tradition by sewing quilt blocks that represent their thankfulness and gratitude. As each quilter explains the significance of her carefully chosen block, stories of love and longing for family and friends emerge, feelings that are also expressed in the gifts they work on throughout the year. Diane is thankful for her two sons who've outgrown their youthful troubles to become fine young men, but she wishes they revered their family traditions as much as she does. In her first holiday season as Elm Creek's quilter, creates quilts for her best friend even as she begins to question her feelings for him, which may have grown beyond friendship. Those are pretty. They are very pretty. This is a cute little book. It's it's almost the size of a mass market. I think all mass markets should be made this in hardcover like this. They would last longer. Have you seen a mass market that's been read a million times? The Spine is disastrous. This is another series that I enjoy thoroughly. So please check out all my reviews for the Caitlin Dennett Scott series. And we will be doing a wee homicide for our Christmas, a wee Christmas, homicide Christmas for December. While Les preps the Scottish Emporium for November's inevitable shopping rush, other local businesses aren't half as lucky. Year after year, her father-in-law's rustic hotel can barely turn a profit during the stretch between autumn's peak and ski season. Except this time, Mr. Ruskin realizes that the recipe for success lies in enticing an untapped niche client, childless couples desperate for a holiday away from family. The unusual marketing tactic has everyone in Moose Took a Look talking. Unfortunately, it also inspires a scathing social media campaign aimed at persuading tourists to boycott the hotel for affronting family values. Lease dismisses the bad publicity as being totally overkill until angry mobs fill the streets. The troublemaker who started it all turns up dead, and her loved ones are suspected of murder. I love them. Moose Took a Look. Um, I've got two. I've got two of hers. I couldn't resist. Turkey Trot Murder and Gobble Gobble Murder. These are cute. It's late autumn in Tinker's Cove, Maine, and the last surviving flowers are on Lucy Stone's porch have fallen victim to the first frost of the season. But as the part-time reporter learns, the cold November morning will claim more than potted plants. Besides the annual Turkey Trot 5K on Thanksgiving Day, Lucy expects the approaching holiday to be a relatively uneventful one until she finds beautiful Allison Franklin dead and frozen in Blueberry Pond. No one knows much about Allison except that she was the daughter of a wealthy investor, Ed Franklin, and struggled quietly with drug addiction. Police blame her death on an accidental overdose, but Lucy can't understand what terrible forces could lead a privileged woman to a watery ruin. Allison's funeral service is just as puzzling. Many believe Ed's young and very pregnant new wife, Mariella, divided the family, leaving Allison to wither on the vine. Did Marielle truly adore her stepchild as Ed claims, or did she pit father against daughter for personal gain? Interesting. I'll just do this one too. Tinker's Cove has a long history of Thanksgiving festivities, from the visits from Tom Tom Turkey to the annual Warriors high school football game and Lucy Stone's impressive pumpkin pies. But this year someone has added murder to the menu, and Lucy intends to discover who left the Minicut Indian active Kurt Nolan dead than the proverbial Thanksgiving turkey. Scott in a trap. A mysterious object the size of a suitcase, all wrapped in bacon and smelling of syrup, can mean only one thing: Thanksgiving at the Last Ditch Motel. This year, the motel residents are in an extra celebratory mood as the holiday brings a new arrival to the group, a bouncing baby girl. But as one life enters the ditch, another leaves. Mezzie Lassiter has only checked in. When residence counselor Lexi Campbell tries to deliver his breakfast for the next day, she finds him checked out. Permanently. Shocking enough if he was a stranger, but Lexi recognizes the face. Menzies was her first love until he broke her heart many years ago. See what happens there. These are so cute. These are so cute. A deadly feast. And there's a cat too. My co-hosts are asleep at this moment. Otherwise, they'd be here with me. Thanksgiving is nearly here, and Key West food critic Haley Snow has just one more assignment to put to bed for Key Zest magazine before she gets to celebrate with her family and her police officer fiance, Nathan Bransford. Then, just days later, wedding bells will ring if death doesn't toll first. The sweet potatoes and stuffing will have to wait when Haley picks up a distraught phone call from her friend Annalise Smith. On the last stop of the seafood tasting tour run by Annalise, one of the customers collapsed dead. With the police on the verge of shutting down the tour and ruining Annalise's business, Haley can hardly refuse her friend's entreaties to investigate. A lady that has been publishing for decades. We all love this lady. Who doesn't like a detective story from the point of view of the cat? Being a cat owner, it works. Lillian Jackson Brune, the cat who talked turkey. The good people at Moose County are in a fever of excitement. Not only is the gala groundbreaking for the new Pickaxe bookstore about to take place, but the town of Burr is preparing to celebrate the bicentennial, and columnist James Quillerin has been roped in to help with the festivities. The groundbreaking, however, is marred by the discovery of a man's body nearby on Quill's own property. No less could it be this work of the killer who used the same MO in northern Michigan. And why does Quill's sage Siamese Coco keep insisting that his human read him a book that Quill can't stand? Then there's the sudden appearance of what seems to be wild turkeys, which haven't been present in Moose County for 30 years. Is there a connection? another lady that's been around for a while, and my sound is going. Okay. The video went severely garbled at this point, so I'm going to redo this last part. I might even gather a co-host here. Smoke, Smoke, come here. Come help mommy. All right, don't help mommy. Pumpkin muffin murder. Phyllis loves this time of year and especially thankful to spend quality time with her grandson Bobby. She's taking him to the festival with hopes of winning the baking contest now that her friendly competitor Carolyn is judging and not competing. But when a decorating scarecrow is actually a dead body in disguise, it's Phyllis' sleuthing skills that are needed. The dead body is that of the festival's organizer, and his wife, who is Carolyn's friend, falls under suspicion. Carolyn turns to Phyllis for help because who's better at dishing out some justice than a baker extraordinaire who can handle the heat? Sue Ann Jefferian, secondhand stiff. Thanksgiving with her fault-finding mother, Odelia Gray, stewing in her own juices, but her husband, cousin Ina, who shows up to dinner alone with ugly bruises, clearly has it worse. Things quickly go downhill after Adela Mothers decides to extend her visit a few days to attend a storage auction with Ina, who owns a consignment shop. The day of the auction, the thrill of the bargain hunting gives way to tragedy when Ina's husband is found dead inside a storage locker. I don't know. Sounds more Halloween to me. Um, Killer Kebab. The Bonaparte House is closed for the season, and Georgie Nikopoulos looks forward to fixing up the Greek restaurant and historic landmark until her renovation plans hit a snag in the Greek to me mystery. With divorce underway, her mother-in-law returning to Greece, and the tourists gone, Georgie finally has her life under control and the Bonaparte House to herself. She quickly hires a contractor for much-needed renovations to reopen in time for a special Greek-style Thanksgiving meal. Georgie is suspicious, though, when former dishwasher Russ Riley arrives with the construction crew. He still has an axe to grind with the Nicholas family, but is it sharp enough to kill? When Georgie finds the body of her divorce lawyer amid the construction debris and Russ is quickly arrested for murder, something about the case just doesn't add up, and it's up to Georgie, who is no fan of Ross, to investigate and see and crack the egg of justice. Peanut butter panic. Thanksgiving is Bailey King's busiest holiday. This year promises to be even more hectic, since Bailey's candy shop Swissman Sweets is providing desserts for Harvest, Ohio's first village-wide Thanksgiving celebration. Yet with a guest list close to 700 people, Amish and English alike, the event's organizer Margaret Rawlings is unfazed until she discovers her mother, former Judge Zara, will be in attendance. And not only will she be in attendance, but she's bringing her younger man boyfriend with her. And things go a little wrong. Zara's reputation as a harsh critic is matched only by her infamy as a judge who has actively harmed the Amish community. So no one is prepared when Zara arrives with the much younger boyfriend Blaze Smith and reveals their impending nuptials at dinner. That should have been the biggest news, except shortly after the announcement, Blaze is found dead. a lady that is very, very well known. If you check out my If Then Food Cozy edition, we definitely talked about her. And she's talked about in quite a few Flashback Mondays. Hannah has felt as bitter as November in Minnesota since Ross vanished without a trace and left her marriage in limbo. Still, she throws herself into a baking frenzy for the sake of the pumpkin pie and Thanksgiving-themed treats. While endless holiday orders pour into the cookie jar, Hannah even introduces a raspberry Danish to the menu, and PK, her husband's assistant, will be one of the first to sample it. But instead of taking a bite, PK, who is driving Ross's car and using his desk at work, is murdered. Is it a case of mistaken identity, or was he the intended victim? Ah, a bad deal for Mrs. Frugalicious. When Maddie Michaels, aka Mrs. Frugalicious, is invited to take a local news crew with her on Black Friday shop expedition, she's excited to show viewers at home how to score the season's best savings. Despite a negative comment from Contrary Claire, the sole naysayer in her growing Fuga memory, Maddie is hopeful for her first TV appearance will be a bargain-savvy success. But Black Friday Eve takes a bleak turn when a shopper is crushed beneath a pallet of toasters. After learning that the victim could be Contrary Claire, it comes clear that Claire has made more than one enemy. Maddie finds herself dealing once again with a murder investigation. I want to see which book was this? Which book was in here? Just want to see. One of the books was in here, and I missed it. And I don't. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. We haven't done it yet. Oh, that's good. All right, let's do this one. To the Tome of Murder. Addie's determined to turn some seemingly ordinary vendor into coastal Greyborn Harbor into one for the books. The windows of her shop display, carefully curated by American writers, including a rare selection of holiday recipes from the influential 19th century publication Goodies Ladies Magazine. And then there's the town Civil War era themed cooking and baking competition with a hefty cash prize and free publicity going to the winning dish. But when she finds her cousin's body murdered, a stunned Addie reluctantly agrees she may be the only person who can blow the cover off a grisly crime. With so many unanswered questions surrounding the victim's path, Addie must figure out the strange connection between a mysterious vintage briefcase, the disappearance of a first edition copy of Sarah Joseph Hale famous nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and a dangerously well-read culprit. Check that out. And our final one is actually in our Romantic Times Book Review magazine. Please check out Flashback Monday. And where is it? I just saw it. A Catered Thanksgiving got 4 stars. This over-the-top cozy is a strong addition to the Catered series. The good-natured bickering between the sisters, as well as the eccentric secondary characters, make this a funny book with laugh-out-loud scenes. This will please Crawford old fans and bring in new ones. Bernie and Libby's catering service is thriving after a mention in the New York Times. When their father heads to Florida to visit his sister, the women decide to cater Thanksgiving for the completely dysfunctional Field family in return for a very nice check. The Fields have reluctantly gathered for the holiday so they won't be written out of Monty Field's will. A freak blizzard sweeps through, stranding them. Then an exploding turkey kills Monty, and the family accuses Bernie and Libby of murder. So check that out. And those are our cozies. That is the end of our first If Then Thanksgiving edition. You will see one of the books. I had a co-host show up at the end of the previous video, but obviously she's gone to bed now. So sorry you've missed that. But please check out my Star Trek recaps on Friday, which was earlier today. And don't forget Flashback Mondays. We started with 2007 and we are continuing through to 2016. And then we'll do extra special stuff with the magazines after that. And of course, my daily book reviews. We just you'll be seeing controversial cover Lorna Barrett's new one. We've got Jana DeLeon coming down the pink. We've got a J.A. Jans coming down. Couple of weeks, there should be a new Janet Ivanovich, Now or Never. I'm so excited to see it. We shall see. And don't forget my James Patterson. We're almost finished with Alex Cross. And we just did the latest Women's Murder Club 24. So please check all those videos out. I do 7, 10, 15 videos a week. So check all those out. Have a good one.